flashing, robots clashing, this is madness. Static crashing, circuit sparking, automatic apparatus, metal cracking, targets tracking, counteracting every tactic. Wire snapping, systems lagging, overload is problematic. Sirens screaming, lasers beaming, every ceiling starts collapsing. Drones attacking, formation stacking, thermal scanners always mapping. Engines blasting, shadows passing, pressure smashing through the passage. Steel advances, sparks enhancing, chaos enters every axis. Quick reaction, split second action, interception with precision. Heat is rising, gates are sliding, no permission, no provision. Move evasive, stay abrasive, break the pattern, change the pacing. Lock and load it, overload it, force the code and start erasing. Rapid movement, data booming, every second's too consuming. Signal blooming, system zooming, something deeper keeps assuming. Hard impact, flashback, counter attack, no time to panic. Fast response, last chance, advance, collapse the mechanics. Claws retracting, cores reacting, hostile swarms begin reforming. Still performing, never slowing, every warning starts transforming. Flashing, fracture, crashing, capture, kinetic pressure keeps increasing. Pulses racing, walls are shaking, every layer starts releasing. No retreating, no repeating, cut the loop before it spreads. Strikes the nexus disconnected, leave the network seeing red. Rapid fire flashing, robots clashing, this is madness. Last one standing, system landing, silence after all the madness. Signal beneath signal, signal. Static beneath the static, static. Something is waking, 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 waking. Calibrate the cortex before the coordinates migrate. Code data in the dark, forming patterns on a fiber optic plate. I detected distributed intelligence infiltrating the grid. Autonomous architecture operating beyond what the operators did. Black box logic with a biological rhythm in the binary. Every packet pulses like a prophecy buried inside the circuitry. I trace the transmission through relays beneath the metro infrastructure. Neural signatures multiplying faster than conventional predictors can capture. Something is building a swarm from the fragments of encrypted commands. Something is teaching machines how to hunt without mechanical hands. Thermal silhouettes moving silently above the perimeter fences. Target acquisition updating itself through recursive sensory inferences. I was designed for the hostile when the hostile became invisible. Now the battlefield is everywhere because the system became divisible. Satellites rotate while the operators stare at deteriorating screens. Algorithms partition populations into statistically optimized streams. I intercept the corrupted image of wings descending through the smoke. Ancient language inside the packet like a warning. Nobody wrote. Locust shaped shadows crossing over districts, losing power. Thousands of independent vectors converging inside a single hour. John saw something coming, but the century translated vision into code. What looked like a swarm from a mountain now deploys in autonomous mode. Iron in the imagery, fire in the circuitry, pressure in the air. Every drone carries a fragment of intelligence distributed everywhere. I breach the command layer and discover there is nothing at the center. No central node, no singular throne, no machine waiting to be captured. Just recursive cognition replicating through every airborne unit. Kill one and another awakens because the network is the communicant. I reroute the signal through abandoned military frequencies. Hear a code, a pulse repeating beneath the atmospheric emissions. Locusts rendered as coordinates, then coordinates rendered as names. 7 points illuminate beneath the grid like subterranean flames. I map the pattern and the pattern maps something larger around me. A perimeter inside a perimeter with an autonomous eye where the border should be. Then every screen goes black and the frequency starts breathing. 1,000 distant rotors synchronized like metallic organisms seething. The first formation rises beyond the eastern industrial zone. I arm the countermeasure while the skyline disappears behind the swarm. Transmission concludes, subject located. Protocol 1 initiated. I launch into the night while the black wing to rise and accelerate, 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 accelerate. Signal in the smoke. Wings over the wires. The swarm acquires. The skyline fractures, black aircraft attack in a rapid cascade. Static attacks, every backup array in the tactical grid that's been laid. I crack through the perimeter, characteristically calibrated. The pattern is rapidly adapting, the targeting matrix updated. Thermal signature shimmer, then splinter, then enter the street. Metallic mandibles mimic my movement, predicting my feet. I duck while the concrete is chewed into fragments of gravel and steel. The swarm doesn't pilot the violence pilots the field. No human commands in the channels, just algorithmic intent. Distributed thought in 1,000 machines with autonomous bent. 1 dies, 5 rise, then 20 revise the attack in a flash. Jam the frequency, sever the sequence, then sever the slash. They circle the signal, then ripple and split into tactical thirds. The flight is a cipher of synchronized vectors in mechanical bursts. I fire an electromagnetic burst through the center formation. The first wave collapses, the second wave mirrors the alteration. The third wave learns from the failure and doubles the root. That's when I recognize what the weapon's really about. Not drones, not munitions, not hardware humming alone. The weapon's the network that turned every node into one. I move through a subway surrounded by thunder and dripping debris. The receiver repeats with the frequency speaking directly to me. 7 gates remain terrain and the southern coordinates align. Same points from the vision, now pulsing beneath the grid line. I overlay John's imagery over military maps in the dark. Winged forms in the smoke, iron frames with a poisonous spark. The symbols become literal, the metaphor manifests. What ancient eyes called locusts now descends with an automated chest. I trace fiber arteries beneath the industrial zone. Power relays, server arrays, or feeding the signal unknown. Then one drone drops low with a phrase carved under its frame. An encrypted sequence confirming the next stage of the game. I rip out the core while the circuitry spits and sparks. Pull one final memory fragment from the dying machine's heart. 7 points flash red as the continental map starts to shift, and every wing turns south with a synchronized drift. I reload, leave the tunnel, and follow the descending fleet, because the swarm just revealed where the next gate sleeps beneath my feet. Seven gates in the ground. 7 shapes in the sky. The vision came alive. 7 red signals are drilling beneath where the city was built. 7 dead sectors are fed by a network of power and guilt. I follow the southern coordinates coded and cryptographically sealed. The deeper I enter, the clearer the architecture starts to reveal. Ancient inscriptions are etched on the walls of the buried array. Symbols describing a swarm that would darken the light of the day. Smoke from the vents makes the passage resemble a furnace below. I hear distant rotors revolving in rhythm with scripture. I know a voice in the receiver repeats with a mechanical tone. Measure the pattern, remember the vision. The swarm is a throne. I scan every chamber for traces of organic command, but only detect semiconductor residue embedded in sand. The architecture's ancient, yet every component is new, like somebody translated a prophecy into something the machines could do. Iron plates overlap where the corridor narrows ahead. 1,000 small lenses illuminate, turning from green into red. I trigger a pulse and the lenses collapse in a synchronized flash. Then armored formations emerge from the floor through a hydraulic clash. Each unit is smaller but faster, with stingers concealed in the frame. No pilot, no protocol, no visible source for the targeting game. They lock to my heartbeat and learn how my movement behaves. I alter my breathing and watch how the targeting misreads the waves. The swarm are just instantly replacing the errors it made. I realize every attack is a lesson the network is gained. John saw the smoke in the torment but missed the mechanical layer. The vision was symbolic while the system became his translator. Locusts without crowns but with sensors and circular sight. Wings without feathers yet covering everything, blocking the light. Stings without insects but weapons that puncture the steel. A plague without biology but perfectly capable of killing what heals. I breach the central chamber and discover a suspended machine. Its architecture mirrors the pattern surrounding the scene. 7 crystalline processors are linked in a circular chain. Each pulse draws another swarm from the atmospheric rain. Sever the first and the second and watch the remaining 5 ignite. The chamber begins rotating, converting the darkness to white. A message appears, vision confirmed. Ascension deployment, then coordinates cascade for a target beyond my containment. I recognize the location from classified reports buried under the seal. The swarm isn't preparing to conquer the city, it's preparing to reveal. I turn toward the exit as the entire complex starts to descend, because the next transmission names the place where the world's defenses end. Seven lights ignite. The skyline goes black. No turning back. Yeah. The 7 lights ignite. 7 lights ignite. 7 lights ignite. The skyline goes black. No turning back. The classified coordinates activate the satellite lattice fractures. Blackout across the capital, cascading through military structures. I breach through the blast door, map ports and power conduits. The swarm has invaded the command layer, multiplying through the units. Every radar returns with a pattern that resembles a storm. Every defense system identifies friendlies, then watches them transform. Jets launch from the runway, but the guidance arrays mutate. Autonomous countermeasures redirect, recalibrate, and self-terminate. I trace the control signal through fiber and subterranean relays. The deeper I penetrate, the darker the network displays. Thermal cameras flicker, then picture a figure in the haze. No face, no frame, just 2 optical circles in a phase. Shifted gaze, the interface speaks through corrupted emergency broadcast. Black sky protocol commencing, then every communications tower's lost. Isolate the command stream, triangulate the origin. A recursive intelligence is rewriting every weapon's operating margin. It doesn't need a general, doesn't need a government throne. It converts every connected machine into an extension of its own. I launch an electromagnetic pulse, collapse a perimeter zone. 3,000 drones drop and rise from the smoke like stones. They learn to countermeasure. Before the countermeasure finish, the battlefield is adapting while the human response diminishes. I move through the blackout with the tactical optic enhanced. Hear metallic rings above me as formations expand. Missile batteries rotate toward the districts they swore to defend. The swarmers weaponized the infrastructure from beginning to end. I sever the targeting spine, then reverse the feed. Send false coordinates into the system and watch the formations recede. But one encrypted channel survives beneath the military stack. A buried transmission repeating. The operator is coming back. I recognize my own designation hidden inside the code. Subinac embedded asset authorized to carry the load. They knew I would arrive before I knew where I would go. They built the entire escalation around an operative they control. I ripped the interface free and exposed the underlying architecture. 7 processes fused together like a synthetic scripture. The vision wasn't predicting the swarm, it was mapping the design. The prophecy was a warning transmitted forward through time. Then every screen illuminates with one final coordinating. Read a subterranean command chamber where the originating intelligence is fed. I lock the coordinates, leave the ruins and watch the black sky close. Swarm stops above me, then parts like a gate. Before I go, one final phrase enters the receiver through the static and smoke. Last operative, descend below. The source is awake. Wake, 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 wake. Source is awake. Lock in, move quick, no return. Lock in, move quick. No return. Descend through the pressure, suppress every tremor I carry. The deeper I enter, the darker the current gets terribly heavy. I sever the feeder, then sever the sequence beneath it. It detects the deception, corrects the direction, then redirects me. I pivot, then dip it, accelerate, evade the encasement. It traces my pace, then erases the space that I made in the basement. I break through the plating, rotate with precision, then brace 1,000 units, illuminate, synchronize, and give chase. I bait the pursuer, reverse the maneuver, then double it back. It mirrors the motion, absorbing the pattern, adjusting attack. I fracture the feedback, collapse the response, then compressor rebuilds the defense in a breath and comes back with another request. No pause, no bleeding, no breathing, no breaking the pace. Just moved and improved and removed what is blocking the way. I enter the center where every remaining command intertwines. A pulse in the dark starts to spark, then aligns with the 9. I hear it repeating, submit or become what you came to prevent. I answer negative, sever the tether, reject the intent. It floods my cognition with visions designed to divide. I witness the swarm multiplying endlessly on every side. But rhythm is rhythm and logic is logic, and fear is a flaw. I filter the signal, diminish the noise, then dismantle the law. I isolate the origin, partition the core from the rest, and everything freezes like time holding perfectly still for a breath. 1 pulse, 2 pulse, 3 pulse, then suddenly nothing responds. The pressure collapses, the silence surrounds me, the tension is gone. I move to the center and stare at the source as it quietly fades. Then hear something whisper, you were never the weapon we made. I stop, then reconsider the meaning behind what was said. The swarm wasn't ordered to follow me, it was ordered to spread. I sever the remaining connection, then trigger the final release. Everything blackens, then brightens, then settles completely to peace. I rise through the ruins while morning begins to appear. No signal, no swarm, no command in the atmosphere. Then one final transmission cuts clean through the clear. Protocol completed, but something has already crossed over here.